Okay.
Okay, students, now today we are going to start with the part 2 of motivation and emotions. Okay, so during our previous session, we completed motivation, and today we are going to explain about what are emotions. Okay, so let's get, yes, okay. Now, let's go to the first slide. Concept of emotion, a class of subjective feelings, right, elicited by stimuli that have high significance to an individual. Stimuli that produce high arousal generally produces strong feelings. Now, I taught you on last class what is the meaning of arousal. So emotions are rapid and automatic. Okay, so when you are going through the slide, you will understand the concept of emotions and how emotions are formed and why emotions are formed. Okay, so emotions are rapid and automatic, emerged through natural selection to benefit survival and reproduction. So emotion is a very important concept, because if a person does not have or does not possess emotions, right, it's a big threat to the survival as well as reproduction. Okay, so for these two things, I mean, like for evolution, okay, so evolution means where people move on from where generations occur. So for that particular purpose, we need emotions. So without emotions, you can't survive, right? Without emotions, there cannot take place a reproduction process. You understand? So for these two main reasons, emotion plays a very big important role. Okay, basic emotions are fear, surprise, anger, disgust, happiness, sadness. Basic emotions are innate. Innate means inborn, like, okay, the basic emotions are inborn. It comes within you itself, and it is hardwired. Hardwired means it is strong within your mind. Okay, the emotions which are basic emotions like anger, right, happiness, those emotions, what happens is those are hardwired within your mind, and it's innate, which comes by your birth. Okay, complex emotions are blend of many aspects of emotions. So there are basic emotions and complex emotions. So basic emotions are innate, means which comes within yourself by birth, and complex emotions means with time, right, with time you blend a lot of emotions and you create your own emotions with time. Okay, classified along two dimensions. Emotions are classified along two dimensions: pleasant emotions and unpleasant emotions. Level of activation or arousal associated with the emotions. So the level of activation and arousal associated with the emotion. So the strength of the emotion determines the level of the arousal. Okay, if you have a strong emotion, the arousal rate will be high. If you have a very weak emotion, the arousal rate will be low. So these are the basic types of emotion that you all have seen and you all have experienced as well. So disgust, happiness, sadness, fear, surprise, anger. Okay, so I'll be giving you a small homework today once this is over, based on emotions, right? Okay, right. So the next one is physical arousal and emotions. Now, I have taught you all this about the fight or flight response. Do you all know about it, or have I forgotten about it? Students, do you all know about this fight or flight response?
Yes, sir.
Good. So now when you take the nervous system, your nervous system is a system which controls your entire body activities. Okay, so the nervous system has two types. One, you get the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so this one in O-level science syllabus also you all have studied this. So the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system means it works in contrast. That means if now you can see the parasympathetic, the first one, it constricts the pupil. So the parasympathetic system is responsible to constrict this pupil. Constrict means to make the pupil. Now, what is the pupil? The black color ball which you could see in your eye. So the responsibility of the parasympathetic system is to make the pupil small. Constrict means making it small. So sympathetic nervous system does the opposite of it, right? It dilates the pupil. That means it makes it bigger. So the sympathetic and these are the differences given. You all better study it at home. These are the differences given in sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system, where one will oppose the other one. Okay, so if one is constricting, the other one will dilate it. If one is slowing the heart, now so you can see the parasympathetic nervous system, it slows the heart rate. But the sympathetic nervous system, it accelerates the heart rate. Okay, so these are the differences between sympathetic and parasympathetic. Now here, sympathetic nervous system is aroused with emotions. So fight or flight response. So fight or flight response means you can see this image. A boy, he's in a very scary situation. Okay, he is very scared. So now they are telling that the sympathetic nervous system is involved in this, right? Sympathetic nervous system. Now you can see in this, this image, right? In this image, you can see the pupil is dilated. The pupil is dilated. Now, in this, you can see who is dilating the pupil? The sympathetic nervous system. The next one, you can see rapid heartbeat, right? Rapid heartbeat. So that means, you can see rapid heartbeat. So who is increasing the heartbeat? Accelerates heartbeat, sympathetic nervous system, right? And so what happens is you either this fight or flight response means now when you are in a situation where you have nothing to do, like you're very fierce of something, either you have to fight that or you have to escape from that. You have to run away. So actually this fight or flight response is a response which is created by your sympathetic nervous system in order to safeguard you, in order to protect you, right? In order to give you the protection. So when you are in a state like that, your body automatically gives you this response and you will be able to fight or else you will be able to run. Now just imagine, I took this example in the previous session also, that now when you're going on a street alone and suddenly a dog starts chasing you, what will you do? Will you just sit and cry? No, you all will either take a stone and hit the dog, or else you all will start running, right? And that run, you all will have never experienced that run before, because you all, it might be like something different for you all, because you all have never experienced that sort of a run and escape from that dog. So that is called the fight or flight response created automatically by your body. So different emotion stimulates different responses. So according to your emotion only, the responses can be seen. So when you are in a fear, when your emotion is fear, what happens? Will you sweat? No. What happens is your skin temperature goes down, you become cold, right? Your feet becomes cold and you start to shiver. That is why when you're scared, you start to shiver. Okay, and when you're in an anger situation, what happens? Will you be very cool? No, you will be with hot tempered. Your temperature will increase and your skin will become red in color, right? And you will start to sweat. So that is this response of anger. So different emotions, right? Different emotions will create different responses. Now I'll ask a question from Nazla. Nazla, tell me. No, if your emotion is a sad emotion, what would be your response? Nazla, the question is for you.
Yes, sir.
If you are in a sad emotion, what would be your response? Or you're sad, okay, you have got a bad news or something, right? And now you're scared, you're sad actually. So what would be your response?
Crying.
Crying, exactly. Okay, so that is one sort of a response that you can expect. Okay, so that is one. Okay, so now just think, now you have now this question goes to Samha. Okay, so Samha, tell me now, if you have just imagine that now you have passed your examination with unexpected results. Okay, so you were expecting around 70 marks and suddenly you have got around 90 marks. Okay, what would be your response?
Excitement and happiness.
Okay, so what would the happiness is the emotion. Okay, happiness is the emotion. So what will be your response? Excitement, and what is the other one? You will be smiling, right? Will you be
Yes, sir.
Will you be crying when you get high marks? No. So you will be smiling. So that is the response. Okay. So like that, for each and every emotion, you have a particular response. Okay. So right. So what I'm going to do is, let's go to the next. Now we studied about the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. All right. Okay. Now, brain and emotions. Brain and emotions. Now, we call this as amygdala. Okay, amygdala. So this one you all have not heard about this before. So this amygdala means it is a collection of cells, right? A group of cells situated in both the hemispheres of the brain. Now you can see when you take a section of a brain like this, you can see there are two lobes. Okay, there are two lobes of in your brain, right? Hemisphere, we call this hemisphere. This is the left hemisphere, the left side, and this is the right hemisphere, which is on the right side. So at the bottom part, when you turn it on the other side, I mean like the bottom part of your brain, right? There is a collection of cells near the base of the brain. Okay, the base means the bottom part of the brain. There are two, one in each hemisphere. So one on the left hemisphere and one on the right, this amygdala. Okay, this is where the emotions are given a meaning, right? This is where the emotions are given a meaning, remembered and attached to associations and responses to them. So this is a main part which is connected with emotions. Now imagine, right, there is a now just imagine one person, right? I mean, like, it can be a good friend of yours. Okay, so that particular person has been very caring to you and very attached to you, and he has been shared, he or she might have been shared everything with you, right? Very open-hearted, but very kind, loving, everything. Okay, so what happens is, so with that person, the emotion which you have built, okay, is somewhat a positive emotion, a pleasant emotion. Do you understand? So I'm giving an example, just get it to your mind very clearly. Okay, so this particular emotion, the pleasant emotion which I told you, right now it is hardwired in your mind. Okay, so now suddenly this person does something bad to you. Okay, now suddenly this person who was really good with you for a long period of time, for about 5-6 years, suddenly he changes due to some instance. He has changed and he does something bad for you. Now Imara, tell me, what would be your emotional state at that time? How will you feel?
It's unbearable because suddenly the person, it gives us very sad emotion.
Yes, you will become very hurt. Okay, so that is the expectation, and you will start your emotion will be like very sad, and your response would be you will start crying, or you'll be thinking what would be the reason, and etc. Okay, so this, what will you be thinking at a situation? Mariam Ruzla, tell me, what in a situation like that, what will be your thoughts?
Will be anger.
You will be in an anger situation. Okay. How about Sama, tell me what would be your thoughts in a situation like this?
We will be frustrated.
Exactly, you all will be frustrated rather than anger, Mariam. So it should be like this. Anger is also correct, okay? So, but most of the time, what we will think is we will go back to the past. Okay, this person was a very good person. Why did he do like this? Okay, he was right. He was the only person that I trusted, but why did he treat me like this? So these are the things that will come into your mind. So this particular attachment association is been given by this amygdala. Okay, so this is where the emotions are given a meaning, remembered, and attached to association. So we attach to associations of the past, okay, and respond to them. According to that only we respond. Now, I will tell you, I will ask you another question. Now, just imagine the same person, okay? Now he has been doing good to you continuously, and suddenly he does something bad to you. And will you take revenge from him? Right? Will you take revenge from a person like that? Most probably they won't take. Why? Because we will go back to the past. Okay, he has done so much of good work for us. He has done so much of good to us. So we should not take revenge on him. But if it was another person, I mean, like if it was a person who has been continuously giving you unpleasant emotions from day one, he or she has been giving you unpleasant emotions, and he or she might have been hurting you several times, and suddenly you cannot bear. So what will be your response? You will definitely take some revenge action against that particular person. So that is how that will be determined, right? Your response will be determined by this amygdala. So you have to always remember, it's just a collection of cells near your base of the brain. All right. So did you all understand this?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. It generates hormonal secretion and autonomic reactions that accompany strong emotions. So hormonal secretion, hormone is a chemical, right? So it's a chemical that is, there are a lot of hormones in your body. I will explain that once I finish the syllabus. I will explain about the hormonal coordination also within your body, because it will be very helpful to you. So this hormone is a chemical which is secreted in your body, right? And it directly deals with the blood. Okay, so it generates hormonal secretions which are related to emotions. So amygdala is the one which secretes the hormones to the body related to emotions. Emotions and facial expressions. Here comes the most important thing. Each basic emotion is associated with a unique facial expression. Now, have you seen any person, right? Have you seen any person who at a funeral house who is laughing and waiting? Have you seen anyone?
No, sir.
No.
Why is that?
No, sir.
Because the surrounding.
What? Surrounding? Why is that? Why can't you see? Why doesn't anyone laugh at a funeral house? Because that emotion is not the proper response for an emotion in a funeral house. Okay, so funeral means it is some sort of a sad emotion. So sad, during a sad emotion, your expression will not be a smiling face. Okay, even though if that person is not related to you, or if you don't have any sort of like connection with that person, right? So even you go to a funeral house, you never smile, you never talk louder, right? Your body is made up in such a way that according to the emotion, according to the environmental situation, you will be adjusted. Facial expressions are innate and hardwired. So your facial expressions are innate and hardwired. Innate means originated within your body, and it is hardwired means it is very strongly developed. It is unique. Okay, so because your facial expressions cannot be copied by another person, so individually your facial expressions are unique to each person. Innate facial expressions, the same across same across many cultures, right? So there are some facial expressions which can be in common, right, according to the culture. Now if a group of people are living in a particular culture for a long time, so they can adapt some sort of some unique, I mean like some common facial expressions. Okay, so that is what is mentioned here. Display rules, social and cultural rules that regulate emotional expressions, especially facial expressions. Right, so here James Lang theory. Okay, so this is a theory which is accepted in modern, right? There are three theories which I'll be talking today. So this is the first theory, is James Lang theory. Okay, so this James Lang theory is one of the accepted theories, okay, on emotions. Okay, and I will now explain, once I explain you this, I will send you two links through chat box. Okay, I will send it to you right now. What you all can do is, students, you all better, can you all copy those links, please? I will share it to you. James Lang theory. network problem. Let me share the screen once again. Can you all see the screen, students?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go. Right, the James Lang theory. Okay, the James Lang theory is one theory, and the other theory that we are going to talk about is the two-factor theory. Okay, you will understand what this is. So the James Lang theory is a theory like this. Now just imagine these are the you can see 1, 2, and 3. This is the incident, the stimulus. Okay, the stimulus is a shadowy figure of a man in a parking lot at night. So there will be a car park, a huge car park, and at night there will be a shadowy figure of a person. Okay, and this is, just imagine that you are in that particular situation. Okay, now you are alone, and when you are coming back, you see in a parking lot, you can see a shadow of a man. Okay, at that time, Imara, tell me, what would be your response? How will you feel at that moment?
Get scared.
Yeah, you'll be getting scared, obviously, right? So correct. So the first one, the stimulus is the shadowy figure man in a parking lot at night. Second one, you can see the physiological arousal and behavior changes. The physiological arousal and the behavioral changes. Now you can see the heartbeat. You can see the heart here, it's beating faster. Okay, and now she's very scared. Okay, and then third one, subjective experience of emotion. So what is she doing? She is like experiencing that. Okay, she's experiencing that particular stimulus. Now I see a man by that parked car. I am trembling and running away. I am afraid. Okay, now can you tell me at this situation, you can see that the sympathetic nervous system is activated. Why? The heartbeat increases and that she's trying to run away. So this is known as James Lang theory. I will share the link, a video link. I will share it in the group soon after the class, along with this PDF tute. So you better listen, watch that video. This is a small video, so watch that video immediately after the class. Okay, then only all will understand what is this theory. What does it mean? Okay, so the next one is the two-factor theory. Now earlier you can see that it is only one factor, physiological arousal and behavior changes. So this James Lang, what he did was he has combined the physiological changes, arousal, and the behavior together. So what he said was the physiological arousal and the behavior both are responsible. In this, it's just one thing that responds an emotion, which gives out an emotion. Okay, so here the two-factor theory means stimulus, the same stimulus, a shadowy figure of a man in a parking lot at night. Okay, physiological arousal plus cognitive. That means he's telling for a particular person to behave in a situation like this, right? There are two reasons. One is the physiological arousal and the cognitive arousal. So this is known as the two-factor theory, the physiological arousal and the cognitive arousal. So this is, this also I will send you a link as soon as the class is over, because just by the theory you all won't understand. There will be a video, you all better observe, go through that video. One video will be for James Lang theory, the other one will be for the two-factor theory. Okay, the same scenario, same experience of this girl, but explained in two different theories. So at this point, you have to understand that I have always told you that whenever one person brings out a theory, there will be another person who wants to